What is up, guys? Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about why Drow is a broken hero. We're going to be looking at Matuma Man's gameplay in his recent matches with Team Secret. And yeah, I mean, Drow is just such a versatile hero. This hero can be played in many different ways that I'd like to talk about in today's video and show you the raw DPS that Drow actually puts out. The only thing you have to consider is that typically you want to build team comps around this hero, but not nearly as much as you would think. It's actually quite easy to draft around Drow. You just need a couple of bullet points checked, and so let's get into it. And quickly before we get into the video, I just want to tell you guys about some recent content that I made. I recently made a video talking about why Vision wins fights. So if you guys feel like you've been losing mid-game fights and you have no clue why, you're like, oh, I'm casting my spells well, feel like my teammates did alright. Actually, no, who thinks that? Everyone just likes to blame their teammates. But Vision is one of the most important concepts in Dota that is misunderstood. I also made a video recently talking about how to find farm in losing games as a carry. So if you're struggling, you're having bad laning stages, and you have no clue how to come back, the GameLeap website is going to teach you how to do that. So go sign up now. There's so much great content that's going to help you get to the next level as soon as possible. So yeah, I hope you click the link, and I'll see you there. So the first reason that Drow is broken is her versatility in the laning stage. This hero can be played in many different ways. It can be played as a mid laner. So yes, you could first pick Drow. It can be played as a mid. It can be played as a safe laner. In the safe lane, in a dual lane, it is very strong. Have you ever laned against Drow CM or something like that? It's terrible. It's horrible to lane against. You just get kited to the ends of the earth. Or, in this case, what Secret is doing, they say, okay, we don't want to necessarily lane our Drow against IO Gyro. They just think it's not a good idea. Instead, what they want to do is they wanted to aggro tri-lane, right? Maybe they wanted to actually, tri-lane against the Gyro. That can be a good strategy. It does work. So all in all, basically what I'm saying here is that Drow can be put in any different situation that you want her to. So if you're playing on some sort of competitive team or you're playing core, it is totally fine. In fact, it is great to pick Drow first on your team. Yes, it is fine. In fact, it is good. Now in this laning stage, it's funny because he actually does die first blood, and to be fair, that is Drow's biggest weakness. You're a very slow hero at 290, and you have no mobility. But the thing is, once you get levels, it's very hard for the opponent to do anything. It almost doesn't matter that you're slow, considering frost arrows do two things, and I think a lot of people don't realize this. Not only did I give you a movement speed slow for 32%, which is ridiculous, considering it's basically permanent, it's 1.5 seconds, your attack time is 1.26 seconds, so it's basically guaranteed perma-slow, right? You can't run away. And most importantly, it gives you 10 bonus damage at level 3, right? When you hit level 2 on frost arrows. 10! Which makes it extremely easy to last hit, and your harass is through the roof, right? And I think a lot of people don't realize that Drow had this. Honestly, I didn't know for a while as well, so I thought I'd point it out. Now, coming here is the real power of Drow. She's about to hit level 3, and this is the Drow power spike, right? I mean, look, this creep dies, he gets fissured and crystal novaed, and it's like, he's half HP, surely he walks it off, right? It's not like, it's 3 minutes in, right? You'll just walk it off? Well, that's the problem. I mean, sure, there was a frostbite to follow it up as well, but he can finish the kill with a nice multi-shot, as Boxy had nowhere else to go, and he gets the kill. On top of that, he's even cycling on this Rubik. Look at this! He can't run! What are you supposed to do? Like, look at this play, guys. It looks so bad. If I'm coaching someone and they do this, 9 times out of 10, on most heroes, I'm going to tell you that you are acting like a psycho. But because Drow just has a permanent slow, and the wave was shoving in, to be fair, the wave was shoving in so the tower can be tanked by the creeps, it's actually a great play. So props to Matuma Man. The next thing I'd like to note is this item build. So he does actually go boots right after the Wraith Bands, and this is something I think more Drows should do. A lot of Drows, what they'll do is they'll go 2 Wraith Bands. I don't think this is a good idea. You're much better off buying boots. After all, you do an insane amount of damage as is, and really, I mean, sure, you can contest CS with, like, another Wraith Band. Maybe if it's a 50-50 lane, you theoretically could just deny more, get more last hits, but at the same time, you're better off buying boots and just hitting your opponent. And if they try to run at you, you run away. And if they try to run away, you chase them down. The next thing I'd like to mention about Drow is her ability to jungle. It's very, very good, right? Especially if you get an Iron Talent. If you get an Iron Talent on Drow, your game is set. Like, and I really mean that. Your game is absolutely set. And the reason why I like that is because in this meta, if you watch Team Secret, they're very, very good at doing one particular thing. Well, I mean, they do a lot of things well, but they're very good at this. You see them do it consistently. They'll have no problem having one of their cores just full-time jungle or largely jungle, and then they'll have a support like Puppy just take the lane. So all of a sudden, you're just going to have this CM who's wildly over-leveled, while your Drow can just hit Ancients, because that's what Drow can do. Not only that, she can even take Ancient stacks. Most heroes would just kill themselves if they had to try to take it. Now, in this case, you know, she doesn't have enough items to really want to do it yet. Also, she wanted to contest the bounty runes, so this makes sense. And you can see, it is so hard to do anything against Drow. Because what hero, it's not like any hero at 10 minutes in can really get on top of Drow at this point in the game. Liquid did try to pick a Storm, funny enough, like they tried to counterpick the Drow with like a safe lane Storm, and that of course, you know, it just didn't work out. The Drow didn't have a great game, but she did enough. And in this case, Centaur's just, you know, he's just doing his thing, trying to contest the rune, and it's like, oh, he stampeded. And in this case, you're like, oh, he stampeded away, he's fine, but once again, that's the thing about Drow. Also, keep in mind, the item build. Please, please, please buy these items on Drow. You want as many stats as humanly possible. You really want a wand, you really want a windlace, and if you do not have a CM on your team, you're going to have to buy clarities. Even with the CM, you'll have to buy clarities from time to time, so keep that in mind. Also, another thing I would like to mention in terms of skill build, I see a lot of players make the mistake very often of just skipping Gust. Don't do this. Gust is an insane value point. The ability to push people away and silence them for 3 seconds at level 1 is obscenely underrated. And I think the reason for it is, it's very simple. You know, a lot of players, they're sort of greedy. They just really want to be able to maximize damage. They're like, oh, I'm playing Drow, I just have to maximize my damage. No, but look at this fight coming here. The Gust is so valuable. Now, Yapstor hits like an incredible Fissure. I mean, that Fissure is next level. But this Gust pushes them not only back into Yapstor, it also just prevents them from casting spells. And, you know, it's just such an important thing to understand. Also, Drow obviously wants to keep people at bay. She wants to keep them out of range of her so she can get her ultimate off. And now, at 11 minutes of the game, almost 12, she has a Dragon Lance. And this is when Drow becomes insane. Dragon Lance is ridiculous. It gives you 14 agility. That's so much. 14 agility, 12 strength. He also has a PMS for even more agility. So his agility is just through the roof. It's an agility party, and he's popping off. And here's that funny ancient stack coming into play. Eventually, they'll kill it, you know. It does take some of the boys to come in and clear it out. You got Zai with the God's Rebuke. But yeah, it's so many levels, so much XP, and that's what I love about Secret. They just do these weird, innovative plays where they're just completely willing to bring a bunch of heroes to take an ancient stack, just for a little bit of extra farm. By the way, the next thing I'd like to mention about Drow that is so good, and if you're trying to play solo queue and gain MMR, it is such a simple formula to do well on Drow. It's brutally simple, actually. You can see here, all you need to do is have your team posture towards the top side of the map, obviously if you happen to be on Radiant, and the bottom side of the map if you're on Dire. You protect the triangle, and then Drow, she can either push it mid, top, whatever she needs, but most importantly, you just kill the Ancients. On top of that, he even has an Invoker at Alacrity him. It's pretty funny. The entire game is just getting constantly Solar Crested and Alacrity by the Invoker. It's a really, really cool combo, by the way, guys. Wex Invoker with Drow is insane. The amount of control that Wex Invoker actually provides, you know, Cold Snap, Tornado, EMP to zone people out, keep people off of the Drow. And then the pure attack speed from Alacrity, as well as the Solar Crest that you can build into, is very strong. So consider trying out that combo. But getting back to my point, you can see that he's literally just wiping through the jungle over and over and over again, and because of that, he'll become very farmed. He's top net worth, and he's just walking in a triangle. And the next thing I really like about Drow, and I mean, this has always been the case, but it definitely is the case right now, but she's a hero that can do everything. She takes Roshan very effectively because of her ultimate and high just damage in general. She takes towers very effectively. You know, your team actually has a siege hero when you pick Drow. It's not like picking Slark where you're like, I can't Rosh. I can't take towers. I don't really know what Slark does, actually. The hero's completely useless. That's why no one picks it. Alright, next up, we're gonna play a little bit of a mini-game, guys, here. This is very important. I want to know if you've been paying attention to this video, alright? Comment in the comment section down below if you get this question wrong. What is Matama Man going to do after he picks up the Aegis? What is his next movement? Alright, I'll give you a couple seconds to answer. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Well, the correct answer was go farm the triangle. Oh, wow! I can't believe it. Drow Ranger farming the triangle, that's shocking to me. I really am. I'm shocked. Even stacking it, and this is all Drow does. Even after, yes, even after you've Rosh and you have Aegis, it's still totally fine to back up, kill some Ancients, and farm up your Hurricane Pike. And by the way, guys, if you're curious about items, just, you know, a really good build to go every single game is the stats with a Windlace, with Clarities thrown in, into a Dragonlance, into a Yasha, into Pike, into Manta, into BKB. Now, can you go Shadowblade? Yeah. If you need a BKB early, then buy it. Those are the things you have to adjust to. And for Challenge, this is what I typically recommend. 5 all stats, 10 agility, 28% multi-shot damage, and then 30% reduction. Upcoming here is the game-winning fight that Secret is able to take, and yeah, for a couple of updates on items, he's completed the Manta into a BKB, then into a Butterfly, pretty standard for Drow. Also, do note that the hero has 50 armor right now, 48 actually. 50? Almost 50, what? By the way, this item is so good on Drow. It gives you movement speed and agility as well as the ability to stay out of vision. If you can get Ninja Gear, it is a top tier item on Drow. I think Ninja Gear is actually one of the more underrated neutral items. I think people see this and they're just like, ah, it's not good, it just makes me smoke. But actually, 30 movement speed is a ton. Think about it. Why do people use Fated Brooch in the early game? Movement speed, because movement speed is broken. 30 movement speed and 20 agility is really good for a lot of these agi heroes. And positioning and vision is everything in the late game, so constantly having a smoke is key. And this upcoming fight here does a really good job of early popping his BKB, which baits out the Centaur. To be fair, the Centaur does have buyback and is able to force out a Drow BKB for his buyback, which I would say is a fair trade. But then this is where things get ridiculous. To be fair, he does get Alacritied and Solar Crested in this clip, which does, you know, it does throw it off a little bit of how much damage you would actually do. But just take a look at how ridiculous it is. Now keep in mind, this guy has a Satanic and a BKB. Not a lot of armor, to be fair, but he does have a Satanic and a BKB. And he pops that BKB and dies. He just dies. And Koifa naturally runs in as well to try to save him, but Matama Man pops the Hurricane Pike and just insta-kills him. And by the way, it's not like it takes a skill, because then he actually casts his multi-shot to finish off the Rubik and secure the fight. And that's what's crazy to me about Drow. This hero, if it doesn't get locked down, it's ridiculous. And you can't say, oh, it's because Liquid doesn't have counters. They have two. They have a Bad Rider and a Centaur. They have two heroes that can get on Drow. The thing is, as long as you have a couple heroes that protect the Drow, it's brutally hard to get on top of her. And if you try to kill her teammates, she kills you. And if you try to kill her, you overextend and her teammates kill you. And yeah, that's going to be about all for today's video. I definitely want to hear from you guys how your Drow games go. So let me know in Discord or the comments of this video if you've been playing Drow, what you think, because honestly I've been watching quite a bit of this hero and it continuously just impresses me. I played it also as well recently. I mean, the DPS on Drow is ridiculous. The amount of utility you also can have when you get to level 25 with the 30% CDR and a Manta, you can split push really well as well. You can even buy a Hex for your team if you need it. You can constantly have Satanic going. Ninja Gear gets reduced as well. It's ridiculous how much utility this hero actually has. Your laning stage is good as well. Your mid game is good. Your late game is good. I don't know when this hero isn't good. It just seems always good. But yeah, thank you guys for watching as we watch him one more time shred Mickey. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace! Before you leave, just want to say a quick message. If you're trying to get better at Dota or you just enjoyed that video, I know this is pretty general, and you're going to hear this quite a bit from me, but I recommend you sign up to GAMELEAP.com. Why? Because I put a lot of effort into the content over there, and generally the effort I do there is different from the content you're going to see here on YouTube. It is different. In fact, I usually go a lot more in depth on topics or into niche topics that help you get to the next level even faster. Because on YouTube, I often have to keep it more mainstream, and that's even why I'm putting it at the end of this YouTube video. That's why this is at the end, because a lot of people just watch 5 minutes, they skip through just for like the dopamine spike. But if you are interested in actually getting better at Dota, I recommend you go to the description down below, get your discount right now by clicking the link, sign up, use the discount code that you're going to see there, and I hope to see you there right now. So click it, and yeah, thanks for watching.